again one of the all-time, as you all know, one of the all-time greatest anime, VTuber, companies, corporations,
Vshojo.
Vshojo, recently, was just, I think, named the number one, VTuber, agency of all time, right? Is that what happened? No, that's not what happened. They got into a lot of trouble. Basically because, they made, not only because there was a whole lot of, like, behind the scenes, them being kind of, sort of like beating around the bush mean to the VTubers by, like, telling Iron Mouse stuff like, hey, if you quit, the whole company goes down, and there's so many, employees and like people that would also suffer because of that, and yada yada yada. And so because of that, she like would put up with a lot of like BS, let's say. Of course, we don't know all the details. She hasn't said all everything, and I don't think she should. I don't think she has, and I don't think she's going to. And especially not since she's currently actively going through a lawsuit with them. Uh, uh, but the major thing that sort of was a breaking point, specifically for Iron Mouse, was the fact that they not only failed to pay her a lot of money, as well as it turns out, a lot of other VTubers, but they also failed to pay $500,000 to the IDF Foundation, or well, the IDF, basically the hat on the hat, the IDF, the Immunodeficiency Foundation, and that freaking sucks at like booty cheeks. Like, what the hell? That's a lot of freaking money. And for you to like not only apparently disappear all that money, but on top of that not be able to pay, freaking, oh, thank you, Master Sam. Have yourself a good one. But like not only that, but also not be able to freaking pay your like employees. Like, that's absurd. Absurd. On top of the fact that those very same employees were the ones that helped earn all that money to begin with for the charity. And of course, like that pissed off Iron Mouse so much that she just basically had to say, "I am out." And of course, just like with many other situations, once the snowball starts to roll, once sort of like one major thing comes out, and someone speaks out, other VTubers start to come out and speak out and give their own takes on it, as not only on their end, but also like people like Shy Lily, who were not really a part of Vshojo necessarily, but like were like made offers by Vshojo, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which is like very interesting to see after the fact, so to speak. But now, Vshojo is apparently being accused of doing something that might land them into even more legal hot water by basically, and I heard not from Legal Mindset, but from a TikTok short, or a YouTube short actually. I saw that apparently they were trying to get some of their own employees to pay for the debt of like the not the debt of other employees, but effectively they were trying to get some employees to pay for the debt that they owe to the IDF, to the charity. Which is like, what the frick? Like, who the hell makes such a stupid decision? Like, who the like whoever's making all these decisions, like they were the downfall of the company. Just so you know, like I wish there was a more direct person to point fingers at.
Show has failed again, as they say they lack the amount of money even to declare bankruptcy. That's right. They say that they are lacking in funds. We're going to get into the reality today.
I heard that. I didn't know that was a thing. Do you actually have to be able to pay to declare bankruptcy? That sucks. Not in the U.S., right? My parents went bankrupt at some point in their life.
And the two most likely scenarios, of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, this Legal Mindset, which you should be your own judge. And this is the Fast Facts version, the quick and dirty version, the latest in legal news. So let's get into this one today as I'm on the road, but I've got a nice PowerPoint for you. So Vshojo has failed again. So let me give you the scenario that's come out. This, of course, came out through one of our favorite former talents. We have Kason here. So Kason had a nice clip where she was discussing the current state with Vshojo. And she was...
I just have to say this. I am such a simp for Kason. Kason was the first ever VTuber I went to go see live. And like, actually, like, just like, flat out, like, she was the very first VTuber I actually got to go and experience in, like, in a live performance. Shout out to Kason. You're absolutely gorgeous! Just have to point that out. And I love everything about your freaking, just everything about, I'm such a fanboy. I'm not even like I don't even like watch a whole lot of Kason. But girl, you left such a big impression on me. Your whole like video about you being like the Yakuza tough leader that like recruited a bunch of like basic not degenerates but like outcasts, and then like those outcasts started to like like become like some of them fell in love and left, and some of them came and go, but you stayed around. You kept like, it was so sad. I loved it. Sorry, just I had to freaking get. I got squeamish.
To learn
I'm sorry.
in her communications.
Freaking love K-Sun so much. I'm such a break. Please never like turn out to be some freaking like wild situation like freaking Cinder or something, because I it would destroy me. It would utterly destroy me internally. I think K-Sun, Girl DM, Shy Lily, Bow the Whale, probably Henya the Genius, and to a certain extent Gooba. They're not Gooba anymore, right? But I still call her Karakura. I'm so sorry, but like like to a certain degree as well, for sure. When I heard that she was old, like we almost like had no more Gooba, I almost lost it. But Saba. There we go, Saba now.
And saying, hey, look, this is.
I'm just saying, those are like, and there's more. There's definitely more, but those are just some of the, like off the top of my head VTubers that would like it would destroy me internally.
Had a nice clip where she was discussing.
I simped for Cinder. Not gonna lie.
And she was surprised to learn in her communication.
Unrelated, right? I'm just saying.
Hey, look, this is still going on. There's still a lot happening at Vshojo. It's going to be a long time before everything is out in the open. Of course, that makes complete sense because, of course, there's lawsuits here. There's probably regulatory stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on with Vshojo that they cannot all talk about, but they can talk about what's been disclosed about this bankruptcy. And bankruptcy, by the way, is something on this channel I told you guys about. I said bankruptcy is inevitable.
Oh, yeah, on that point, before we continue any further, I've seen a lot of people, and the girls are smart about this, but like too many people keep wanting them to do something about Vshojo or like do some kind of attack. Let them be. But if there is an active lawsuit happening in the background, it's not gonna make or break or like help if every single VTuber is just like launching lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. Especially if Iron Mouse is like already fighting the same thing. In certain cases, it might be better for them to either tag along on the lawsuit, or I feel like, wouldn't it be easier to allow some of these to sort of, like, play out, and then once the precedent has been set, you can, like, push for damages on your side of the situation, right? Like, I've been seeing too many people bothering, like, everyone, not just K-Sun specifically, but, like, across the board, a lot of people have been bothering the Vshojo girls, like, with, like, hey, like, do stuff, like, push, like, they want them to, like, I don't know, freaking demand jail time already or something. I don't know what the hell they want, exactly.
Y'all
gotta chill.
In these circumstances, because
I get it.
Really, the only way they're gonna.
But trust me, Vshojo is gonna like their downfall is already written in stone. Like it's over for them. They done. They Dunyan rings, bro. But they belong in Burger King at this point because they are Dunyan rings. Trust me. Oh, not front. They coming out extra crispy.
Well, they came out here and told apparently K-Sun or her counsel, hey, apparently you need money, and guess what? Guess what? We don't have any money. They don't even have money to declare bankruptcy. They don't even have enough money. That's what Vshojo is claiming. And they're saying that they want the talents to pay up. They're saying, hey, we're not going to be able to...
I'm blocking it, but this is such a freaking great picture of K-Sun. Sorry, I just freaking loved it.
Back. Hey, talent, we could pay you back some, but if we don't declare bankruptcy, we're not going to be able to pay you back at all, and we don't even have the money, so we're not even going to get your taxes.
I swear, dude. Sometimes models make the funniest freaking faces inadvertently. It's the best.
So blah blah blah. No, this is all completely bunk. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't, add up. And we're gonna talk about this today. First of all, this is very good for Kason for sharing this, and thank you for Kason for getting this out. But the issue is there's really two scenarios. In the first scenario, Vshojo is just lying. Okay, yes, there are legal costs for bankruptcy. That is true. You do have to pay for filing fees, as you do with many other cases. And let's pretend you do everything yourself and you really don't contract a lawyer, or you have a pro bono lawyer, etc. You might be able to get the cost around $1,000, right? That's pretty reasonable. The average cost is between...
Shout out to our lawyer. We paid him, and he covered the legal fees, which I think was like $1,000. It was like 1,500, 1,200, no, 2,000. It was somewhere around there. But we paid him well enough that like he covered it as well. Like it was like he was a friend. It was a friend too. Like he had a lot of our other family members used him for other stuff. So it was like definitely not a it was definitely not a usual circumstance. But shout out to him. Like big time help.
Between 1,000 to 5,000 in America in 2025 for a corp.
I don't want to like say anything because, to be completely frank, it's been years and years and years and years, and I don't even know if that if he's like still in the business or what. Like he was already a pretty elderly guy back when, and I was like a freaking middle schooler or something. So it's like I would have to look into him and to find him again at this point. But
once
he was
again,
amazing.
I know that for some people that is a lot of money, and I'm not trying to say that isn't a lot of money. However, for a corporation with a $1 million budget, that is not a lot of money, and that is...
Yeah, you realistically could like move something around, and you would have made up that money.
Certainly, if you see your finances going down, a predictable expense. $1,000 should be something that a corporation, we're not talking about, Jimmy on the street corner. We're talking about a corporation should be able to find $1,000 to at least file a very basic bankruptcy. That should not be something that is a insurmountable object. And based on also the previous spending, it does seem like it's a lie, or it might be a lie, because they spent 10x of that on just ads before. And that's an estimate, right? It's not exact math. But what I'm saying is they spent multiples more just on advertising just in the single months before. So if you take one of those individual...
Yeah, he's not wrong. You could literally cut all advertising budgets for that you had not only for this month, but next month and then month after and whatever the frick in the future, because you don't have any talent anymore. So what's the point of running ads? And that would be the beginning of the end of it. Like you could absolutely do that.
Months, and you just look at the
you would just basically allocate those funds towards his bankruptcy.
Advertising budget. It's more than this. It's 10x what they paid for bankruptcy. So you're telling me you were able to pay for all those ads, the ads that that Sea-Dog VA talked about in Shinjuku Station, etc., all over Japan, those super expensive ads. You were able to pay for those, but you weren't able to save $1,000 for bankruptcy? Really? And you're able to pay staff and operations expenses, all those other things you had to, you could have said, hey, we're going to take a haircut. We're not going to come in on Fridays, whatever, right? We knew this downfall was happening, and we couldn't save $1,000 for bankruptcy. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's like it's almost an insult how stupid they think people are. Like these corporations really think they're like 4D checkers and they're playing 4D checkers and shiz. But it's like, no, the only reason you've been allowed to go this long and do all this shiz, corporations have been allowed to do all this, is because A, it's either been hidden really well, or B, people are just too damn busy working and having a freaking job and just trying to survive paycheck to paycheck to pay attention to most corporations dishonest acts, so to speak, or dishonest practices. You get what I'm saying? So it's like people aren't stupid. They can put two and two together.
And you're telling me the executives, you're telling me Gun Run and all the other executives can't get together and each pull out, let's say 10 executives and managers pull out $100, right?
True though. Actually though, for if you have to actually file for bankruptcy,
you can't get to 1,000? I'm not believing this. I'm really not believing this. Especially where they live. $1,000 for a lot of these guys that were living in the Bay Area, $1,000 is a Tuesday dinner, right? Just in the Bay Area. So once again, I'm saying this is something that is absolutely possible that they are.
Do they have a gift shop at the management offices? At a certain point, you know what I'm saying? Just go and take Take the cash out the register. You know what I'm saying? Like what
Just
else?
lying and trying as a last-ditch effort to squeeze the talent because they know they don't have many cards left to threaten the talent. The talent is lawyered up, so now they're trying to bleed them for every last penny. And you know what? I think it's BS. I would call their bluff on that if it's scenario one. Now let's explore, because I always explore all options. I'm very fair. We're very educational here. Let's go towards number two.
My question here is, what benefit do they get from lying and trying to intimidate the talent like this? That's what I'm wondering. Like, what's the overall benefit that they would achieve here? Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the perfect scenario here? What's the win condition here? Or what's the outcome in a perfect world for them if this actually works? They just that they don't have to spend $1,000, $5,000. They just win because they bully them.
Let's go towards
It's just
scenario
pettiness.
two. So scenario two is they are really broke. They're truly broke. Well, if they truly don't even have $1,000 or $2,000, $3,000 in the bank, they are truly that broke. That would indicate a severe, not minor, a severe mismanagement of funds. That would be handling company funds in such a way that was completely reckless.
I've seen people talk about how certain companies work at a loss. Like, they basically always work in negative numbers. Everything's always, but that's like, because you have to think about it in the essence of like how much money they borrowed in a loan compared to how much money they're actively working with. And plus, you already know if you're a good company, you're gonna be like paying off a loan with another loan that has like, a freaking discount on loan paying with a reduction on the interest. You get what I'm saying? There's like so many different ways to like finagle the freaking like way to do it. But what I'm trying to get at here is they would have they would have some kind of emergency budget for some kind of emergency situation. It's kind of like when a company is able to like out of the blue donate a bunch of money, out of the blue throw a big old event, out of the blue they're able to throw do a big event or big like it's like they always have a certain set amount of money that or funds that like for emergencies or for special situations. Like it's just entirely like unreasonable to assume that they wouldn't be able to like collect that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little too unreasonable in my opinion. A little too unreasonable.
Cost is severely minimal in the scope of an overall corporate budget. The talents have no obligation to pay and should not pay. And beyond that, they should consider breaking their NDAs. Because if they find out that this is true, they're not lying, and they're actually that broke, if they're actually that broke, they cannot enforce the NDAs. How are they going to pay for enforcement of the NDAs? If you...
Ooh. And of course, it's a hypothetical. Don't actually try doing that, right? Don't give them the smoke. Don't give them the loaded force multiplier. You know what I'm saying? But in theory, yeah, you're basically saying we can't even sue you if you actually go out and tell people all of our dirty secrets. Like it's just stupid. And I don't think the Vshojo talents, any of them, are stupid enough to believe this. You get what I'm saying?
Can't pay $1,000 to go declare bankruptcy. How are you going to spend tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars enforcing NDAs? I'll wait. I really will wait because I don't see that making any sense in any world that's real. So if they want to keep the NDAs as enforceable, then okay. Another thing they could do is if they're really that broke and the talent said, okay, we'll pay you the $1,000, but you have to say the NDAs are now null and void. That's where they could go. Say, okay, you want...
That's a really nice one, though. I really like that one. But like at that point, it's like, all right, but you're getting $100 out of each talent. Like none of this like $1,000 out of each. Right? The maximum is $5,000. You got to put a piece up too.
You want money for a bankruptcy? Here's the plan. Here's the Sigma move. You just say, hey, I'll give you that $1,000 gun run since you don't have 1,000. I'll give you 1,000, but all the NDAs are null and void, all of them. For all the talents. That's your move. That's your move. And
Honestly, I would absolutely go through it. I feel like that would be such a boss move. Such a power play. Because it's sort of like, it sort of puts them on a defensive now, doesn't it? Like, what does she know? What does the talent know? Why do they want the NDA? Oh, hell yeah, bro, that would be amazing! It puts them on the defensive.
That's checkmate, right? That's checkmate. That's how you bring them out and you call them out on that lie.
Absolutely.
You say, hey,
bro, legal mindset's a lunatic. That is genius! Absolutely!
Do this, but you've got to avoid the NDAs. If they're that broke and they're really in it for the good, they really are talent first, right? That's a good deal, right? Because the talents get to speak. Talent should be allowed to speak, right?
Yeah, free speech and all that.
But the thing is, if they really are...
Yeah, what happened to free speech and all that good stuff? Let's do some of that.
If they really don't have the money, that is opening the door to piercing the corporate veil. I've talked about this. It's a very important legal concept, and this deals with going past the corporate entity and suing the executives personally. Now, I know that we are really focused on Gunrun here, and he's one of the few we have pictures of, so I'm showing his picture, but it's not just Gunrun. It's the executives, the C-suite level guys, the...
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing. You have to understand that this is just like what... he was absolutely one of the more... in front of the camera peeps, but there's a lot of people involved, and there's plenty of people involved. The company as a whole should be held responsible for this, and frankly, I don't see what benefit they gain from like going basically mask off and just becoming scumbags, like trying to like squirm a couple of bills out of the talents. But I guess fair is fair. They've already ruined their reputation. Nobody's ever gonna support them, right? So you might as well. But like at a certain point, it's like what? So now now you're gonna start pushing the like. If you want to keep pushing this situation further and further and further along, guess what's gonna start happening? Gunrun, like people are gonna know you now. And slowly but surely, all the other managers are gonna they're gonna start to become more like public figures because of this. And you're gonna struggle to land that next job. You get what I'm saying? How many black companies in Japan have CEOs that are like just, have wildly amazing reputations? Not a whole lot, huh?
Highest level guys.
There are a few. There are. To be fair, there's a few couple of examples. I'm not gonna say there's not, but not exactly. Once if you kind of were in the management position of a company when it became the most hated company in the entire world, kind of a bad resume.
To them personally for their assets. They seem to be very personally invested in this. They are personally following. I've noticed them on X following all of their detractors personally. So I imagine a lot of this is invested in the egos of these people, in their horrible decisions, in their bad mismanagement, in their absolutely mediocre handling of a company. So yes, I think that if they are that broke, go after them individually. So there's all these options here, guys, whether they're breaking the NDAs through an agreement, whether they're going after them personally, or whether they're just lying and doing a bluff. Vshojo is clearly showing itself to be a failure yet again. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one.
There's no way that Legal Mindset sees this, right? But one question I would have is, let's say they pursue this anyways. There's like a lawsuit happening in the background. Or they pursue personal, like each individual person, right? Whatever the case may be. Is there some kind of like, let's say, way, like it doesn't really matter if it's important to the case, I would say, or I should say, it doesn't really matter if it's like a smoking force multiplier, so to speak, for the case. But like, could they basically subpoena evidence to be like, is this even true, or did they lie to us when they told us that they didn't have enough money to file for bankruptcy? You get what I'm saying? Could they subpoena that? Would that be a part of discovery? Like, basically as them saying, like, this is evidence of Vshojo trying to intimidate us over these long years, in one form or another. You get what I'm saying? Like, could this backfire on them? Absolutely amazing video. Please drop a like or drop a sub to Legal Mindset. I will link the video on the Discord as well as on the VOD. It'll be down in the description below. Please go and show some support. It looks like I linked the wrong one earlier for the other video, so I'll drop that too. Ayoo, Monodachis! Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also find links to the videos that we reacted to today down in the description below, along with my Oshi marks. I'll see you in the next video, Monos. Goodbye, and thank you so much for swinging by. Salut!